Vilna is located in southeast Lithuania and is even argued by some to be in the very center of Europe. Ever since the early 14th century, Vilna, which is modernly known as Vilnius, has been the capital of Lithuania. After its golden age, during the Renaissance period in an alliance with Poland, Vilna fell to Tsarist Russia. Although anti-Semitism was evident, Jewish life in Vilna was full of rich literature and attracted Jews from across Eastern Europe. Artisans did very well, and the Vilna Gaon's legacy remained throughout the 19th and 20th century. Before the Holocaust, there were 55,000 Jews in Vilna. At the time, Vilna was known as the Jerusalem of Lithuania. In this first photo, the Gordon family is enjoying a day at the beach pre-World War II in Vilna. Sisters Niusa and Riva Gordon were born in Swansea, a small town outside of Vilna. The Gordons were forced into the Swansea ghetto, and after its liquidation in 1943, they were sent to the Vilna ghetto. After that, the family was split up, and everyone was murdered, except for the two sisters, who were eventually reunited in 1958. Their three aunts and a cousin are pictured. In this parallel photo, the Koffler family is enjoying a day whitewater rafting in Costa Rica. It was a true family experience, and despite the frigid temperature, everyone had fun. In both scenarios, the family is together at a beach-like environment. Aside from the fact that my family is whitewater rafting, the main difference between the two pictures is that my family is complete, as well as dressed in bathing suits and life jackets in the picture, whereas it is three aunts with a cousin dressed in old-fashioned swimming trunks in the other. In this next pre-war picture, the Magid and Appel families are posing formally for a picture in the Vilna countryside. No information is available on the Appels or Magids, except for the story of Kasia and Rhea Magid. Rhea married a Frenchman and was able to flee to the United States after fleeing to Toulouse. Kasia and her husband Abraham were forced into the Vilna ghetto. They both managed to survive the concentration camps of Stutthof and Kaiserwald. In my picture, my immediate family and I are posing with most of our extended family for a picture. It was taken on a cruise ship in celebration of my cousin Brian's bar mitzvah. We were leaving New York and had New York Harbor in the background. Both pictures portray the importance of being with family. Our families nurture us and provide countless necessities, which has not changed throughout the years. The old picture is of two separate families and is only of women. They have straight faces and are dressed for the outing nicely. In contrast, my picture is just of my extended family and consists of both men and women. We are also all in uniform of a yellow shirt. However, in both instances, a mother is holding a small child, and the children who are able to walk are in the front. Since Jews were excluded from the Polish student fraternity, they decided to form their own. Historically speaking, the Jews of Vilna had made up a large percentage of the Vilna universities. In this photo, members of the Jewish medical student fraternity of Vilna University are posing for a picture. They could have just abandoned the medical field, but they persisted and insisted that they should not be penalized for being who they are, Jews. They are all dressed formally, and they are very proud to be who they are. Many of these men would later perish in the Holocaust. This is a picture of the 2011-2012 rabbis who were having a Shabbaton at Rabbi Ben Fried's house. They are posing for a picture along with Rabbi Fried and his 5 children. Most of them were dressed formally, since the picture was taken Motzei Shabbos. I am in the middle of the picture in the blue sweater, holding one of Rabbi Fried's sons, Baruch. In both photos, the people there held a Jewish position. In the Gabbai picture, everyone is smiling, and the environment is more relaxed than the university picture, which is far more formal and serious. Also, nowadays many Jews strive to be in the medical field, which can be seen originating through the old picture. I learned that Jews of pre-World War II Europe were not so much different than myself. I realized that the conditions of the start of the war were very similar to the ones now. The same way that nowadays, the concept of Jewish discrimination and a war on that scale seems somewhat impossible, so too back then they could never believe that it would ever happen. Life pre-war was, in a word, normal. Additionally, the phrase that times change, the more times change, the more they stay the same, is very relevant. The family unit is just as valuable nowadays as it was back then. Looking at each picture brings me to tears, for they never saw it coming, and I now know that most of them would end up perishing. During the war, the Jews of Vilna were forced into a ghetto, where they then established a fighting force. This praiseworthy Jewish resistance against the Germans led to no avail. Most of its Jewish population was annihilated. There were just 16,354 Jews left. In 1990, Lithuania declared its independence from the USSR, once again naming Vilna its capital.